Hey y'all, and welcome to the video. For this one, I'm going to be swapping out a wheel bearing on this 2003 Dodge Ram 2500. The process should be the same or very similar for newer trucks like this one here. We're just going to be doing it on this truck here. So what we went with today, and I'll talk about why I'm swapping it too. Got an SKF bearing. That might be the part number right there if you pause the video. And here you go. So we're going to be replacing it on this side, the passenger side. And basically what happens is the truck's having some grinding when I'm turning left. So when you're turning left, this side of the truck gets the load. And it only happens at certain speeds, like 15 to 20 miles an hour when I'm turning left at a certain angle. It'll be an oscillating grinding noise. We are replacing a Timken wheel bearing that has about 100,000 miles on it. Timken's a good brand. I've got 4 wheel bearings between these 2 trucks with Timken. This is the first one that's gone out on me. So let's get into it. Okay, here we go. I got the tire off the ground with the jack, and I'm just gonna zip off these lug nuts and we'll go from there. I do apologize if y'all are hearing a lot of wind noise. It is breezy out here today. Before I really go any further, I'm going to hop up in the truck. I'm going to engage the 4-wheel drive with the goal of getting this to lock up so that it holds that castle nut later on. Yep. So 4-wheel drive is engaged, prevent this wheel from spinning while we're loosening this castle nut later. A jack stand, now that I have some room here. Centromatic balancing discs, that's what that is, for wheel balancing. Alright. Okay, I'm setting y'all up on a view from underneath the truck here. And we're going to need to remove the brake caliper. We're going to use the breaker bar. And these are on tight. These are 100 and something foot-pounds they're supposed to be, I'm pretty sure. We'll look that up before we reinstall. Okay. So that one's busted loose. There's 2 of these back here. Oh, it's on tight, which is what it's supposed to be. I might have put a little Loctite on these too the last time I put them on. Take this the rest of the way off. While you're taking everything apart, put all your bolts in a pile where you can find them later. Trying to get a replacement lost bolt would be a pain. Okay, 5-gallon bucket. This is like really a 3-gallon bucket or something. But it's going to be where my caliper will rest. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a clamp. Pinch my finger there. Okay. Alright. Just going to relax these ABS wires. Gonna take them out of their notches, and don't forget the bracket. Set that with your bolts. Rotor's nice and smooth. That's good. Came off nice and easy too. There's a little cotter pin here in the castle nut. It needs to be bent. Some needle nose pliers would be good there. Be careful, because if it lets loose on you, your knuckle's going to be into that stud. Put this with your bolts so you don't lose it. All right, so this is a 43 millimeter castle nut. It's on at nearly 270 foot-pounds of torque. That's not going to be good. Last time I tried to remove one of these, I actually broke a breaker bar. All right, so as evidence of the broken breaker bar, this, which I drilled 2 holes in to fit this pliers in, was lodged in there. So I couldn't use it unless I drilled out this thing, gripped it, and pulled it out. So that was the breaker bar I broke. Fortunately, I'm the guy that torqued this last, so it should not be over tightened. And I'm not going to use the impact yet. I actually want to give it a try with the breaker bar. If the breaker bar doesn't want to do its job, we'll try something else. Now 43 or 44 mil would be ideal here. 43 is probably the perfect fit. This is a 1 3/4, and you know, it's a little bit sloppy there, but I think I can get it to work. And we might need a little extension on it. Yeah, we're gonna have to get a little socket extension out. It's a star shape too, which I don't really like. I'd rather have the hex longer. And for your entertainment, I'll back you all up here so you can see what's going on. Hopefully, I won't lose this breaker bar. Well, broke loose. I don't think that was down quite 270 foot-pounds. We're gonna put a little more torque on it this time. It had anti-seize on it, which is a plus. So that'll be another thing I need to remember. I don't think I put anti-seize on the mounting surface on this side. I think when I changed this one, I forgot it. I did it on the driver's side last time, so we'll see just how much of a pain these are. I was really worried about this. Really good that this came off easily. The next thing we need to do, I'm gonna move the camera here. There are 4 bolts on the back side. All right, so for the 4 bolts on the back side, they're down to 149 foot-pounds. That's the spec. You can see them sticking out on the corners. And I'm actually gonna have to turn you all sideways here to actually see one. There's one right there in that corner, inside the knuckle. So there's 4 of them. They're on pretty dang tight. We will use the breaker bar and an extension to get in there, and I'll set you all up right over here. We are looking at an 18 millimeter. And I might need a longer extension than this, but we shall see. We are, I think we're going the right way here. I think it moved a little bit there. Is that it? That's good enough. Trying to think of another good idea. Maybe we can snake this back here. Get it in there. Yes. Okay. So I'm sending the breaker bar through underneath where the upper ball joint is. Now I've got it so I can loosen it the way that we had been doing, pushing towards the ground instead of in the air. So that's a bit of a breakthrough, and we can use a longer socket extension. There we go. Jeez. Where's that PB blaster? Part of the problem here. Break it? I hope we did. Don't think we did though. I think that moved a little bit. I feel like that moved a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Shoot. Stuff, but here's the last bolt. Took long enough there. Had been going so smoothly until really these 2 bolts on this side. If you can get your tie rod end off, you can really twist the knuckle, and that would help. I decided not to screw with that too much longer. Anyways, let's see what we're looking at here on the camera. All right, so you can see this ABS line. We're gonna remove all these clips from the brake flex hose. Slide it out, and then there's you can see that. The screw, or another clip, electrical connector. Disconnect that. All right, so now we need to push this deal off. So what I'm actually going to do before we lose this bolt, set it aside somewhere. I almost lost my 18mm socket. This little socket extension, you might notice, is slightly bent. It's because I've used it in this application before and I pushed a little too hard. I've got 1 bolt still in here. Not sure how much I really want that threaded. But the idea is I'm actually going to thread it until it's about flush. It's not quite flush until you can see that bolt. And then I'm going to fire the truck up and we're going to wedge, and I'll show this more closely. I'm going to wedge this in there and we're going to twist the power steering and see if we can push this guy off. Okay, so y'all can see I've placed it on this bolt back here. It's going to press against the truck right here. If I can hold that there. And then the bolt is threaded almost all the way through. You know, like this. I'm going to turn the steering a little bit. I don't want it to push on the not the drag link, track bar. I don't want it to push on the track bar. So we're going to turn the steering wheel, I think, a little bit left. Shoot. We already pushed it a little bit, so I'm actually going to back it off a little bit. We're just going to push a little bit more. And I'll let y'all see it from here. So I think we might have pushed, try not to push it too hard, but let's see what y'all are seeing here. Okay, so it's just down to this one final bolt here. I think she's out. Okay. Yeah, any imperfection I see there is more just anti-seize that was in the threads. So I think we're okay. But this guy is still not off. In fact, it's basically still stuck at this bottom right corner. So let's see what happens here. That might have been all we needed. Yep. All right, so we lost a little washer here. Don't lose that. And I'm gonna try and leave the axle in. like this. And it might take a little, oh boy, adjustment with this guy to get the new one on right. Let's get out my antis. And this doesn't look very good. I want to give it a nice mounting surface. I don't want to just slap it all back together and just do a crummy job with it. Okay. Just get a nice coat with the mounting surface. And inside, I think that's what I forgot last time. I don't see any inside here. This is going to be, maybe I put it on the bearing itself, but it's easier just to do this and go around the inside. What we got here? Especially if you live up north, this is very, I think, critical. For this could be done at the end, but so I'm probably gonna end up touching that. That's for the whole deal here, and maybe even why not do the threads for the where we hook up here. Goodness. Oops. See, it's cocked to the side, so we're not getting it on the first try. We're gonna have to pull it back off. Okay, that looks a little bit better. Now I don't really want to whack on her to get her to press in, but I also need it to go in. Oops. Be careful not to pinch that deal. What I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and get it equally lined up here, and we're going to try and just put a little bit of thread on each of the 4 bolts. This is probably how they got anti-seize on them. I probably didn't coat them intentionally. They just kind of got in contact. And this is going to help it get its alignment. Alignment's going to be, it's probably always going to seem like it's slightly off. So I started at the top right. I'm going to counteract that by going to the bottom left, which is kind of sticking out on me here. It's acting like it wants to line up a little bit better now, which is good. Do one at a time, just a couple of turns once all 4 are started, until it goes in very evenly. I'm just tightening this until I start to see it move a little bit. Okay. Time for the torque wrench. So, my knees. So I've got my torque wrench out. This torque wrench only goes down to 150 foot-pounds. So this is 149, so it's just about maxed. I could feel it getting tight when I was adjusting it here. So we will go one by one. All 4 have been made snug to start. We are actually going to just make them a little bit more snug before we go full blast. foot-pounds right now, 20 or 30. 150. Oh, there we go. Double clicked, which is probably not necessary. We're gonna go to the opposite corner here. Hard work, but we're getting there. There we go. So we must have been right on the edge of 150. Okay. Doesn't matter really which side we do here, top or bottom. On there. Sure is. All right, one more remains. This one shouldn't be too hard. Just push down on it, like we were doing. All right, so that was important for safety to get the torque spec right, in my opinion, on this this job here. Now, let's see what y'all are seeing. All right, y'all are seeing pretty good. Castle nut time. Got a washer. And thread the castle nut hand tight. Castle nut's supposed to go down to 130 or something foot-pounds, and then you're supposed to spin the wheel and this and that. Although I've never done that before, we're gonna try that. I'm just gonna quick swap the torque wrench here, and we'll just, I don't think it matters too much. 150 foot-pounds of torque would be perfect here, I think, to start. Okay. So, it's got to be down a lot tighter than that. We're going to go disengage the four-wheel drive. Good. So, I'm just going to spin it 5 times. 5 revolutions roughly. I don't think that's enough. We need extra leverage. Let's not get injured here. It's probably good enough. And grab your cotter pin. The cotter pin will validate the tightness, and it looks perfect. It's right in the middle there. And you can stuff your cotter pin through, bend the ends back over, and if you've got a little mallet or hammer, boom. So for the ABS, run it over the top. Actually, you know what I'm even going to do? I'm just going to send it in behind the control arm, upper control arm here. Brake rotors are like 30 pounds. There you go. And some brake clean would be good. But now we're about to handle the caliper. So the caliper, my worry is that it's going to be clamped down too much. It won't fit over the rotor. So we're going to have to see about that. About to find out right quick. This won't hurt. Okay. I think it's slowly wanting to get in your, oh my. Okay, little pads, behave. This has got to be about perfect. And one of our boots is torn on this. Actually, both of them are. These calipers aren't that old. Let's see what we got at the bottom here. The bottom I can actually see to thread it. So we're going to try that first. And these go down to 100 and some odd foot-pounds. Folks, we're getting there. We are getting there. All right, so here we are, got everything back together, and I actually messed with the routing of this twice, and one time I sent it underneath here, and I just ended up not liking it. It seems to want to go over top like I had before, and then you can always adjust these to give it enough slack, both before the flex hose bracket and afterwards. And they do send a new clip here, so you remove the old clip and push this new clip in, and then up here that's your connector clip. So we're all back together here. It's time to put a wheel back on, and we're going to put it back into two-wheel drive as well. All right, we are all back together, ready for a test drive. This is where I'm going to end the video. Hope you all enjoyed it, hope you all found it helpful, and I'll see you in the next one.